Well, good morning as we're sitting here at LTV on this beautiful morning, Wednesday morning, year 2024, on the 28th day of August, approaching Labor Day weekend. And I guess, every year we hear ourselves saying, oh, this year went by so fast, when we had to go through the day to day occurrences of all the ingredients that the day has to introduce to us and present us with, and then it doesn't seem like it went so fast while we were going through the thick of it. But here we are. It's like approaching this wonderful weekend. It's a conclusion of a great, um, maybe end of a cycle of indulging in what kind of the free immediate feeling provides you with, and the kind of wonderful uh, partying and just having a good old nice comfortable friendly environment to enjoy some weeks off during the summer, especially from if you think about New York New York City. I mean, that's just like right there in your face. And but here we are at the east end of Long Island, and we are actually, uh, welcoming Labor Day weekend with love. And of course, not to fail to mention the contribution by Fraser Dougherty as we kind of celebrating every day a wonderful happening here at the LTV at the East End of Long Island. That this particular show has been on the air since 1980. I mean, you're talking about hefty amount of time, almost 45 years, 4.5 decades. In the early days of the inception of that concept, and that concept coming to life, even though public access exists for a long time, and long before the sophisticated edge of technology was available to everyone as it is now to us. Fraser Doherty was an entity that was the non-wavering, solid, focused, determined, and also very gentle and sensitive enough an artist, a wonderful, resilient warrior in the field of expression, and in the field of utilizing and of helping the potential of a situation to become what it was destined to become. It took some work, I can tell you that much, because I was a part of this journey together with him for 20 years. So when I met him in 1983, 84, he was in his early 60s. I mean, don't forget, he died. He passed away almost at the age of 102, not too long ago, maybe 6 months ago or something. But so much to learn from him about the things that at first when I was observing him, I thought, man, he's a weirdo. Why is he doing this? Why is he doing that? And just give me a second. Closing doors. Why is he doing that? Why can't he be normal? I used to say to myself, ask myself, why can't Fraser be just normal like everyone else? But he wasn't. Um, I liked it because I believe in these kind of wonderful, constructive programs, availabilities of literally forming your own stage and operating as you wish. Um, and also of the fact that I saw more than one familiar thing when it came then to getting to know Fraser as a person. I saw so many things that I would do this the way that he does, or think the way that he thinks, and have that level of a passion and eagerness. I could really relate to it because it was just too familiar not to be able to relate to it. So eh, him and his wonderful partner Francis Ann, the support, the dedication, the devotion, second to none. That's why, really, if you think, and of course, he didn't do it alone himself. He had a lot of helpers and followers and people, believers. But it took someone like him that was available 24/7, without any questions, to actually make it really happen. Because if you need the help and the helping hands and the um, second opinions constantly. You really need to have people on site. It just doesn't happen because you want it to happen so much. It's the so anyway, so we're here, as I said, August 28th, year 2024, here with the Hello Hello Show. And my name is Haim Mizrahi. I just completed a wonderful exhibition at Ashwa Hall. Sometimes I wish there were 1,000 people attending this show because it would have brought joy to the hearts of 1,000 people. But then I realized, my God, the quality time and the interactions and the getting to know new people and maybe selling a little bit of art here and there is unbelievably encouraging and educating. So pretty much I had that weekend constantly full of interactions and surprises on behalf of who's going to open the door of the gallery, who's going to show up, who's going to be the one to intelligently uh, it, express reservations that he or she will go through as they will come and see my exhibition. I had a few encounters that actually I knew that it's a no-brainer for me to mention it and to actually talk about certain things that you happen to find yourself talking and interacting with a stranger that you just met, if only it's because the fact that you observed and noticed a compatibility, emotional, spiritual, as did the other party, he or she. Observing about you, and instantly there's a creation of a new ground that both ends and both sides share and indulge and celebrate, because it's almost like winning the lottery, but then you have like 6 hours to spend all the money, and you can't just buy one thing that is $100 million. So anyway, um, who's going to open the door of the gallery and come with a smile and a sharp mind and tell me about all the reservations and share and ask and wonder and answer and everything? So I was talking to this wonderful, lovely retired individual, retired school teacher, and he was telling me that he's actually collecting posters of the Fisherman's Fair, which used to be taking place, the posters of Fisherman's Fair, and that he had some copies that are signed by Lee Krasner and de Kooning and his wife, whatever, things like that. And for some reason, we were talking about the human condition, because how can you talk about art? How can you interact with people concerning specifically an artistic process and know and not end up considering a thing or two about the human condition, the one that helps us sustain or encourages us to fail, the one that helps us stand still and firm, and the one that's shaking us to the core, the one that makes us laugh until bursting tears washes your whatever, and and the tears of pain and confusion and doubt and obstacles and uh, challenges. Well, not the challenges should cause you pain, but if it's added to in the timing that you are just as is already over the top, then that can only add to the pain. And when I say pain, I mean more like a reminder of here I am, a reminder of presence, and which you would always appreciate. You always appreciate something saying, I'm on my way. So even if I'm going to surprise you, at least in the back of your mind, you know I'll be there, even though when I come, I go in through the back door and suddenly I see you. But even if I will be surprised, I won't be surprised enough to be hurt by this surprise, metaphorically speaking. So um, imagining, which thank God for imagination, huh? But that helps you really make believe without shopping around for an app that will support the technicality of this process that you will have it at your disposal only because you're a board member, only because you're a part of the team, of and part of the an official part of the official team, something like that, and you you want to try and put in place that which you believe and think that is missing, at least according to your view, and then you know for sure that once you kind of put these pieces back or add to it or create for it, it will instantly continue to keep in motion, like to be vibrant and active, vibrant and active. That's a lot to be said when it comes to artists that can finally suddenly find themselves of any kind, writing, painting, playing music, or just thinking, which a form of art, just philosophizing. Um, you manage to gather enough information that if you realize that if you just let it be and let it go, in a even a premature stage of that understanding and breakthrough and achievement, the greatness of it will come because maybe the eventual greatness of it will come on the account of your ability to decide and say, "I think I'm done," even though and other times you will be far from being done. And even if you feel somewhat a little bit prematurely being premature in being able to say I'm done and to move on to the next stage, or to accept the fact that if you say I'm done and you do take some steps, there's no way back. You cannot turn back. You have to you're committed. So, and you learn about these things, and you learn about these things, and you learn about these things, and you learn more about these things, and you more learn more about these things, and then it becomes a thing that is just quietly residing within you, quietly reminding you, you I'm here to support. Now, you would not find yourself wondering, what does it mean by saying that to me? I don't think I need support. Even when you're at this state of mind, I don't really think I need support now because I'm doing just fine. But that grip of reality of the greatness of repetition and especially when it's accompanied with that great deep factor of depth. That's and you know that when you're in this stage, or at least going towards this stage, things happen on their own. I mean, it's a sophisticated reality in motion. Things happen on their own. Things happen on their own. You know, and it's not a and and you learn that maybe in the early stages I would have a problem with it. I don't want anything or anybody do any of the work for me, the artistic work, if I'm the artist under discussion and this is my kind of creation. I wouldn't want anyone getting near it and start meddling and touching. But now, when Mother Nature tells you, I actually do that for you because it's a reward, you earned something by doing what you're doing, whether you realize it or not. It's our job to realize for your own sake what it is that you're finding yourself engaging in and what are the benefits. So we just want to give you a bonus. We just want to give you a raise. We want to give you a token of appreciation and recognition. And when we know that soon enough, quickly enough, you will accept it as common practice, as as reality itself. And so you want to extend your ability to enhance the potential influence that which you're engaging in will have as it travels the world, what kind of encounters it will have, and what impression it will leave, that will lead people to feel stronger and to feel happier and to feel more satisfied especially the creative process that they always knew that they had within them, but never arrived to a point where they can be clear enough and coherent enough to be able to make decisions, or to know that at all to begin with you are at this stage. Um, I think that the uh, all these ups and downs and all these kind of changes and all these kind of whatever it is that happens within that time that moves forward, you know, uh, the present constantly uh, departing from the past into the becoming uh, of the future, as the present is soliciting on the behalf of both the fading past and the becoming brighter and brighter, more brighter future, um, and yeah, the 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 ground that I found out without it's not like I found out how to do it. I found out that I'm already doing it, and I had to learn about what it did, how it is that I'm doing it, because I was already doing it as I was thinking that it's a good idea to do it, and that I should be able to do it all all along, and all along I'm actually doing it, and then realize that I'm doing it. So that's okay. As a drummer, if you were to think about what I just described, even if you could only relate to 25% of it, or to nothing at all, just the way the language, just the way and if you were to pause now and then when you say something brilliant, or think something brilliant, or paint something brilliant, to s- to s- to be able to freeze it, freeze that stanza, and copy paste kind of thing, which I hate thinking in terms of copy paste, but I mean, kind of dragging it. I hate to use the word dragging, kind of showing it the way, good, and suddenly it's the kind of rhythm and exercise that you would have otherwise never, ever, ever, never, in a million years would have the chance to find yourself actually doing this and benefiting from it, and therefore pushing forward the ability and the kind of level of efficiency of the whole vessel, of the whole system. Never, ever, ever. But when you're intentional, when you actually not waiting for something to happen, and say, "Oops, oh, that sounds great," and then you do it, and then just out of the blue, which is good, and it happens. But here, you're thinking, "This is great. What I just heard that I was doing or experienced." You're aware of what happened, and you're also aware of what it took to get there, and you also remember the configuration. So if you want to repeat it or take advantage of it, you won't wonder which password it is. You will create a smooth entry because you're just preparing, because you recognized it and identify it. So now you're taking it to the ta ta pa 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 ta ta to the drum, to the practicing pad. It's a shame I don't have the practicing pad here with me. Should have brought it in. I will bring it in, and I can show you that how the rhythm adapts with the highest degree of neediness so quickly, because it's needy of something out of the ordinary. It's needy of something awkward that's accompanied with an acceptable level of decency and of kind of awareness of, and you uh, are able also on top of it to create like a buffer zone, like a place where you can digest, but um, with all these kind of encounters that come towards you on the behalf of revelations and things that happen all day, just because you're saying, I don't think I want to toil so much and work so hard right now. Well, yeah, you understand what's happening, you understand the benefits, but you can also the one who can say to yourself, you know what, enough is enough. I'm going to take off a week. I'm just doing it. That's it. And in this week, you can reflect in a way that cannot hurt you. Why? Because you'll find yourself thinking about one dimension, uh, one medium. Even though you're the inventor of that belief, that it just spills and goes and travels to everywhere, absolutely everywhere, everywhere, and you don't have to really be ready or work your thoughts to death to get to some kind of a realization what's really going on. It's already all the messages, the statements are all over the place. Everywhere you turn, you see like aphorisms or proverbs of the desire to reach you and tell you about what is available, what is the nature of that which is available, what is the artistic factors and aspects and and so much more that actually this has to offer once this engagement is ongoing. And it's you're going back to the point where the power of repetition kind of thing that enlightens you and heightens your ability to approach spirit without the fear of finding out that you're mingling with any religion or any god, because it's a no-brainer in your agenda already, fully established. The superpower exists if only from the fact that indeed we exist. It's a no-brainer. Who wants to putz around with all this when and what the meaning of it is when you already absolutely reality that know everything you need to know about it? No dwelling, and and then the first encounter with that which that result of repetition, because it was filtered through a filter that had all the ingredients of quality and first class approach and work ethics and decency, attention to values and details, and just being all around a sensitive individual that's trying not to hurt anyone, trying to educate people, trying to be educated in the process of trying to educate people, trying to see if there's anything that people are missing in need of, and you have, and you can, and participating in this. And as you do that, you work on yourself, how you let, especially dwelling. Oh my God, I hate it. I know, I oppose it with passion. Uh, you know, that that thing that you find yourself doing, moving sideways instead of like this, like this. You don't see people do this, with rhythm. Uh, Check it out next time when someone is rhythm. Even when in the dance floor, you don't see people dancing like this. You know, they dance like this, forward, back, da, 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 da. And then they go sideways because it's a continuation of front to back. Even with martial arts, even with grappling, even with the arts of martials, it was all uh, you come to me, I let you come, I pull you in, I turn around, I send you, you know, uh, I go to you, you stop me, I go sideways, turn around, go the suddenly the backwards become the forward, and as I go away from you, I'm actually pulling you in with me using your own energy. just magic. Now, if you even with this, even with martial arts, I did that for quite some years with Sensei Mark. I can't tell you that I'm a black belt, but I know a thing or two because I spent 6 years, if not more, with a master of jiu-jitsu that just told me a lot, hit me a lot, but I felt like I understand. It's almost like I when I start study a new language, I because of my comfortable attitude towards in relationship with grammar is there as a given, then I can understand and realize grammar long before an ability to converse and to make sense of the words and to make them to become sentences. Um, so um, it's like grammar. It's like something I really can understand very well, and I so you take that um, um, encounter and you say, well, I don't wonder anymore about whether, okay, because it comes from the southeast and not northwest, maybe I should look into it again and see if it's allowed or if it's good. It's almost like taking medication, you know, what you're taking already, how is it going to affect, whether you're allowed or not. So taking it to the drums. And the drums make sense because it's just feeding on the motion that the world is so depending on, that's created by all the individuals inhabiting this planet. That energy is just imagine. So even if you're intentional or indirect, eventually the the remnants and the fine ends of those journeys of energies and and good intentions and and also mainly the ability to really see the layers coming together after you create the art that is consisted and consisting of thousands of layers. So it's like you know everything there is to know about it as far as what you need. And of course, there's much more always if you take it out to the open world and you go to unfamiliar territories and new neighborhoods, and you cannot just go around and say, "I'm an artist. I create art. My art is beautiful," and take a look, and you know. So it's more like I go there and I already find that the system itself already positioned an infrastructure that is being put in place by extremely familiar compositions that you used so many times when you were at any kind of style that you were involved in the world of painting. You just literally grabbed it and say, yeah, I think that will, and put a few of them together, and this is your infrastructure. It takes years on end by individuals to achieve any kind of level of comfort or understanding that indeed you're there. The infrastructure is something you slave for. You work many years to establish, and then the rest supposedly is easy. The rest is the now you furnish the house now, and all the furniture is out there waiting in storage. You bring it in, but with me, it's kind of the other way around. Found out that I can borrow the pre-established, pre-earned ingredients, compositions that I can just borrow for myself and lend it to put in place an infrastructure that is so much needed, and a sturdy one, and one that is um, put together by the person who's going to actually act and perform on it. That's if that's not magic, constant magic, I don't know what it is. And in that constant back and forth type of dance, miracles happen and unbelievable happenings are becoming common practice and second nature. You are kind of almost pathetically guaranteed. And I use the word. I don't like to use the word pathetic here, but your own actions and you in certain aspects of it, certain timing and parts of it and placement and location of it, it's kind of becomes a little pathetic. Like, wait a second, maybe it's too much, or maybe it's too little, maybe it's too something. Too, what is it? But the the forces involved that happen to be under discussion will sometimes kind of flash you, like you see a ray of light and you think something is out there, but it's actually a reflection of something that you were, and it created that. So in the same token, it will be the occurrence that um, you feel safe mainly because you always remember that all the things that you encounter in that whatever it is that makes it to create your life is created by you. And then of course the infrastructure of the infrastructure is maybe created by God, by superpower, obviously, because I know without any doubt I had nothing to do with it, because there's no chance I could or even contemplate that I can or could have. No, no discussion. Certain things I just put aside and not. It's all. And then I said, but all these things that are coming at me, that sometimes I say, wait a second, I need to hide. What is it? Sometimes I lose track or lose clarity, so I cannot even identify what is it. Is it something? Is it someone? What's charging at me? And all the way to the point where I'm realizing what I'm realizing, and I said, wait a second. So I don't think I'm afraid of myself. I don't think I can scare myself. I never encountered a moment where I said, wow, I scared me. I so I take advantage of it. And I suddenly able to identify what's coming towards me and actually amounting to become a charge, like literally, because it's forceful, it's strong. But I learned quickly enough that I need to allow it to create a point of impact. And I shouldn't worry, because my configurations taught me to understand that point of impact is not destructive or hurtful at all, at all. Absolutely. It's not. And so I tested it a few times. It's almost like raising a wild animal, like a tiger, like a lion, like you know, and you can see that relationship of this big, huge, fantastic animal that usually would eat you alive. One think twice about it, is so over exuberant with with a sense of intimacy with any living creature, uh, and how the memory, the ancient uh, um, um, it, it, ancient DNA that resides separately from so many other DNAs in your mind, that tells you about this possibility that the wild comes together with the cultured and uh, established civilly, for lack of a better word. Um, so imagine that you're going through things and challenges, many challenges, but then when you're doing your thinking, you realize, hey, wait a second, I can get rid of some of them. I have no doubt, long before you even looked into it in detail. There's no way that it works on whatever capacity, and that at least 30-40% of it is that which we can do definitely without. And and you try because you thought about it and you erected and put together in place some plan, and you go and you approach and you actually realizing, my God, I went to visit to wonder about its nature and I already resolved a few issues without knowing that that was my intention. I just wanted to become familiar, and the reality here and there tells you there's no need to become familiar with that which you're already beyond familiar with. It's just like, so you need a reminder for the reminder for the reminder of a reminder for the reminder. It's that simple until you don't need reminders anymore because you get to a point where you're satisfied and you immediately go back to square one. And all these things, because it's you, yourself, and you won't find yourself too many times needing to give an explanation about your out of the ordinary approach or attitude, or you want to call it weirdness, peculiar, fine. It's just the way it is. So you notice on the behalf of the many and the much that you have already created, and the knowledge that as we speak, you, I don't even want to think the knowing about you, the knowing of the world about you, that they know. So you know what? Whether it's you walk around feeling this way because you have $20 billion, or whether you go around and feeling it because you have a a, a, a body of work that is daunting, and it's still not in any stage of being translated into it's a commodity, but I mean like dollar bills, like money, like numbers of money that you have in your bank that you can always check and see, and and the interpretation of what really that allows me to do. And then you realize on both ends you are pretty much you apply to for college and colleges, and you get answers from all of them. Anything you choose, we welcome you. You're our type, our kind. We love you already. Come. That's it. And even then, you will still choose what you promised yourself without the need to promise yourself that if you were to be accepted, this is where you're going to go. And this is what you're going to do. This is what you're going to do. Even if you suddenly realize maybe other places will be better for you, but you want to live up to your, not expectations, but that which you were guaranteed yourself for and kind of gave your promise. And also learning about that if you show weakness and vulnerability, it can really, really only strengthen you even further because you realize that it's not that easy and often where you something happens and you end up really feeling good about yourself. It's so crucial. Look at the world. It's all individuals of people and leaders and whatever and rulers and it's really um, it's the same walk, it's the same talk, it's the same food, it's the same process of consumption, process of processing. Just like it's the same with everyone. The needs, the limitations, but we kind of uh, uh, want to be able to be like those types that run the world, but you run the world that you create, and obviously, if you will be able to promise yourself to be able to decide, not to need to decide, and not to overwhelm the level of necessity that is artificial for the most part to decide, the sense of urgency, and that you train your system to know exactly what to do about it. And it doesn't matter what it is. You kind of know what and why and how things work for you. So you just put it in place. So when you encounter it, and you know for sure you will encounter it again, you get those answers mingling. Because mind you, artists that I know personally, these are people that look fairly normal, but they walk around and they think about what they need to think when it comes to their passion for art and painting all day long. And they can work and they can be active, they can be conversing, they can be interacting, they can be traveling, they can be distracted, but they don't stop thinking as artists. And that level of conviction is not something that you chose. It's literally injected into your system. It's literally like burned into you the surface of your skin. But there's no hysteria. There's no drama. There's no something that causes you to just dwell and dance. There's no something that adds you more options and possibilities in order for you to make your life complicated. It's exactly the opposite to help you dig yourself out of these complications unnecessary by nature that you were dragged into, you dragged yourself into, you allowed other people to drag you into. It doesn't matter. You're learning the technique. And when you learn the technique to do that, you can use the same technique to actually paint paintings. When I have my exhibitions or whatever moments of the need to share and to expose myself a little bit, I know absolutely almost 99% clearly where I come from. What is it that I leave behind when I come to be here? What is it exactly that it took for me to here's my full body of work of the now, not of the past, not of the future, even though it's all coming from and to and from. But this is the exhibition of the now, of the moment. And you come knowing so well and so clearly what the heck took place and how these kind of occurrences amounted to be what you see now. Undeniable, this level of excellence. Um, and also, surprisingly, just walk around behaving very casually, so casually, casual, just like that, simple as that. And and I don't know, if you take the 40, what is it? Probably like 45 minutes that I've been on the air already. It's like, okay, what did I say? How did I say? It matters that it doesn't matter because what matters is more the feeling that is being forming under your nose between your upper lip and the creeve and the thing of the nose here. And it's the point of reference of hanging art, keep that 65 feet center, which I love actually, even though it's work of repetition. But when you the curate and when you hang and you see that point, and even sometimes, even if when you doubt it, sometimes you still keep up with the rule that is being set and that you adapted it and accepted it as your own. Wanted to mention August 28th, year 2024, here with the Hello Hello Show. And my name is Haim Mizrahi, continuing with the tradition of public access and the tradition of the Hello Hello Show that's been on there since 1980. We still have this um, August, September art show as uh, we have been curating and um, uh, exhibiting and showing work by artists for the last 27 years on monthly basis. This month we have Victor Kerpel, Fan Yu Lin, in a wonderful duet show here at the corridors of LTV. Um, so that's going to be up until September 9th, which is a Monday, uh, in in which time I will start putting together the next show, the next exhibition. So just wanted to remind you, and that you always welcome and always have a, a part in the. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know why I'm so quiet now. I should do this actually, and this. This is exactly it. I don't even know why. Because what I meant to is to put this music here. Let's see. Yeah. Just because I am a busy man and I have some stuff to do here. Let's see. Mm-mm. Mm. What is it? Laurie Anderson. Yesterday I remembered Laurie Anderson because in my early days here in the United States, I lived in San Francisco, 1983, 84. And Laurie Anderson was one of many artists that I saw her live concert. It was flooring me. So Talking Heads and all this wonderful stuff. So I've been listening to Laurie Anderson lately, and that's pretty much it. So I'm trying to kind of do the these are let's see if it works. Just for now, for a minute. Yeah, maybe this just.
He can't try to sing. He can't force it, you know. The best song can come over talking.
Well, yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. So that was refreshing, actually. I liked it. That kind of rhythm. And so, yeah, August 28th, year 2024, here with the Hello Hello Show. And my name is Haim Mizrahi. And I wanted to really conclude with one of the pieces that were read at the last weekend's show at the 25th at Ashwa Hall, the reading with Mindy Cronenberg and myself and some other guest poets that read their poetry. And I wanted to, yes, that's what I wanted to do. And yeah, oh, yes. So that was um, something that I, yeah, this is, it's, it's crazy. Okay, concluding. The rich source, a blast of utter sameness, a metaphorical brick erecting closure, a rude blessing, prematurely and evenly blanking, a hip notion, a haste of garden halved, revolving in cycles, north of blessed features, expressions of the many, expands the blink of reason, partially connected. I saw you learning basics with a smirk of knowledge, wishing the numbered count bold and abundant. Slope for a rich kind, the well-to-do steal time, most with a rough breath, finding compassion, same managed to invent lyrics, let alone a melody. As sequels enhance, version by version, straightforwardly, calm whispers, woven tricks of happy marches, breathing again with a special invite of lovers. It's so touchy. Oh my god. So touchy. And so, that kind of mm, Yeah, all these smart sayings, whatever. Straight ahead and to the right. How about my way or the highway, straight ahead and to the right? Well, anyway, so yes, thank you. Thank you so much for your attention and for your patience and for allowing me to sit here and speak my piece. Uh, Having many guests coming my way, but even if I don't have guests, it never deters me or prevents me from showing up here and sitting and doing what I believe in here out of LTV. So we're going to be here tomorrow as much as we were here yesterday and as much as we're here this morning, Wednesday morning, August 28th, year 2024, marching forward, approaching Labor Day weekend. Enjoy, 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 and be safe. God bless. So, yeah, we're going to see you tomorrow for sure.